With the poison knockout, Fezandipiti does not work. I bet they are very upset right now. Could this end in a concession? The poison knockout, not letting them use Fezandipiti, just completely ruined their plan, and they threw in the towel. The meta is perfect for Klawf to be good once again. Even though Spicy Season Curry has rotated, Klawf is a really, really good deck to play right now with the one Electrode to deal with Charizard. But Klawf right now deals with Terapagos. It takes out Bloodmoon Ursaluna, it takes out Miraidon decks, it takes out Pecharunt. Hits all of these really, really useful and very heavily played Pokemon for weakness to take 2 prizes while you're only giving up 1 prize card in return. We do play 3 Klawf in this deck with 4 double turbo energies. That is our main attacker. We have the 2 Brute Bonnet and the 4 Ancient Booster Capsules. We want to be able to get the Toxic Powder down as soon as we can to be able to attack with Klawf. And with Radiant, Hisuian Sneasler, and the Pecharunt, you can actually do quite a bit of poison damage between turns. I tried really, really hard to get a game today where our opponent actually got donked with us going first with the 80 poison damage output of Pecharunt going first, but we just couldn't quite get there with all the pieces. But if you do go first with this deck, it's a possibility that if you start Pecharunt and you have the Brute Bonnet, Radiant Sneasler, and the Ancient Booster Capsule, you could do 80 damage of poison between turns and win the game before it even gets started. We do play the one Electrode V with the super effective glasses. It hits Charizard for 300 damage once it's been poisoned. And then between turns with the Radiant Sneasler on your bench, you're doing the extra 30 damage to knock out the Charizard. And the most important thing is it does not activate Fezandipiti. Fezandipiti does not activate whenever you take a knockout with poison damage, which can really, really hurt your opponent's ability to come back from, say, a late game Iono or just not having very many cards left in the late game period. Fezandipiti in this deck, you just have to be able to draw 3. Lumineon and Electrode can also use the Forest Seal Zone. We have a lot of honestly, a lot of random cards in this deck, it looks like, but they all work together really, really well. We have the Town Store because we play a massive amount of tool cards. We have the 2 rescue boards. Normally, you want to put this rescue board, 1 on your Sneasler and 1 on your Pecharunt or one of your V Pokemon or EX that's on the bench, just to have a pivot every single turn. You can use these switch carts to switch your active out to the Pokemon with the rescue board to get rid of the poison damage that's accumulating on your Pokemon and leave the poison damage stacking on your opponent. It's a really good combo. I don't think I used it quite enough or as often as I should have, but it's definitely a really, really good play to keep yourself from getting knocked out as well. We play the Secret Box, grabs our stadium, grabs our tool, grabs our item, grabs our supporter. It's just the best ace spec for this deck right now. Colress Tenacity can grab us the double turbo, and it could grab us an Artazon to be able to get our Klawf. So with Colress Tenacity, we basically have an attacker every single turn. We can find that with the Lumineon V. Most games I end up benching both Fezandipiti and Lumineon, and it's never really punished that much. And the Bloodmoon Ursaluna as the late game closer just kind of catches people off guard, and it's hard to deal with 260 damage. Binding Mochi adds an additional 40 damage to your poison Pokemon's damage output. So you're doing 210 damage with your Klawf, and then with the poison between turns, you're doing 240 damage, which is enough to knock out Raging Bolt. You want to be able to knock out Raging Bolt in one shot, you have to have Binding Mochi. Energy Loto is another way to use Arven to find a double turbo energy and a tool card. Just a really fun deck overall. Favored into most decks in the current format. The only matchup that's not really that great is Dragapult. But into everything else, you hit most things for super effective damage. And with your counter catcher and your 3 bosses orders, you can normally get around the big, like stage 2 Pokemon that your opponent may try and wall you out with. And then most of the time, you can just kind of win with the poison damage and your Klawf. Let's hop into some games, show you how it works. Ooh. We could get the donk here. We have the donk online. If they only put 1 Pokemon in play, I think we have the donk. We have the turn 1 80 damage through poison with Pecharunt. Only bench 1 Pokemon. Only bench 1 Pokemon. This I'm so excited for this. 1 Pokemon. 1 Pokemon. Ah, it's the fish. Dang it. We had it. We had the play, man. We had it. Dang it. Yeah, we have to play out our hand here. Artazon, grab the Klawf. Play the Energy Loto, and then probably Squawkabilly. We don't need that. Dang it, man. If they would have started anything else. The one time starting Lumineon completely saved them. All right, what do we want to grab with this Nest Ball? I think we're fine. Let's do Trekking Shoes. I think we have to keep the bear, right? Yeah, we got to keep the bear. I think we just grab another Klawf. We could leave that bench space open for like Lumineon, but I don't think we're going to need it. Man, we had the donk lined up. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing. If they don't move the fish, that will set up like poison damage knockout later with the boss's orders pretty easily. If they would have just started that Charmander, we would have won the game already. That's all they had to do was start the Charmander. This is a pretty favorable matchup. Charizard's pretty favorable, so I'm not in like any big hurry to do anything crazy. We could just let the poison damage build up. It's an easy 2 prizes later with 10 poison damage. If they hit us with an Iono and we can get a Klawf going, that's also really good. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. There's the Turo picking up the fish, which is fine because that just gives us a free knockout going into next turn. I really hope they bench another Charmander. Playing the fish. Okay. They can't play a supporter because they just play Turo to get the fish back, though. So I think they might have just made a mistake. Yeah. They only have one Charmander in play. All right. We'll just poison. And we'll pass the turn. We'll take a knockout that way. This Pecharunt's putting in some work here. Going to be at least one more full turn before they attack. There's a double turbo. So if they take a knockout here, I don't see how they take a knockout here, but I mean, if they play like double turbo, rare candy, Pidgeot, they could take a knockout, I suppose. Them pushing up the Lumineon probably suggests that they don't have that available. They're getting more value from this Artazon than we did. Going to play the Arven here. Probably grab a Buddy Poffin and a Force Seal Zone so they can grab rare candy for the Pidgeot. That would be their like ideal turn here. If we top deck a boss's orders, it could be bad for them. Heavy Ball. What'd they prize? What's in the prizes? Rotom? Is it Rotom? It is Rotom. Okay. Putting all these two prize Pokemon into play is a pretty big liability. I don't know if I agree with that or not. If we get a boss here, we're just going to take their one Charmander again. There's Iono. We'll go ahead and put down one of the double turbos. No reason not to. We're going to use the Iono just to get them out of that 9-card hand. I think we just attach the Rescue Board to Sneasler. That way we have a pivot for the majority of the game. We'll go ahead and Toxic Powder. And we'll end our turn. Next turn, we can do basically whatever we want. Nest Ball. Hopefully they're grabbing another Charmander. They definitely need another Charmander. Them starting the fish is really keeping them in this game. Rare Candy, Pidgeot. Let's see. Only played one Rare Candy so far. Let's see if they have the Rare Candy Charizard this turn or not. It's going to make a big difference on what happens going forward. There's Collapse. Thank you for getting rid of Squawkabilly. I think we just passed the turn. Let them get the knockout on the Pecharunt. We should probably Arven and grab a Switch Cart first, though. All right, so this is a really cool play that you can make. It's already poisoned, so we can push up the Pokemon with the Rescue Board. And then we can retreat back to it if we want, depending on what we want in the active. I actually think we should... I think sacrificing the Pecharunt's still correct. We're still doing the 10 damage for the knockout, but this keeps us from getting knocked out as well. All right, they definitely have the Rare Candy Charizard play here. We have the Binding Mochi Klawf play in hand. That won't work. Fezandipiti doesn't work off of poison damage. Oh, he was so excited to play that Fezandipiti. He threw that thing down fast. He's like, man, I got this. All right, Rare Candy Charizard should be online here. We could potentially have the Electrode play. I don't know if we really need it, because we could Colress's Experiment or Colress's Tenacity for Town Store, grab the Supereffective Glasses, Nest Ball for the Electrode. We can make that play and take out their one Charizard, go down to one prize card remaining. That may be what we do, kind of expedite things here. If we top deck a boss's orders, then we will just take out the Rotom or the Fezandipiti. We may grab a Fezandipiti of our own. We'll have 2 bench spaces open if we're able to get the Town Store with the Colress's Tenacity. We have so many options here. We have so many options. All right, we're going to start by promoting the Sneasler with the Rescue Board for free retreat. And let's see what we can do here. All right, I'm going to make sure the super effective glasses are in our deck first. All right, we do have super effective glasses. Do we have Town Store? We do have Town Store. All right, so we have the one-hit KO lined up on the Charizard, which is what we're going to go ahead and do. There's no reason not to. All right, we'll play the Colress's Tenacity. We're going to grab the Jet Energy just for a pivot option because we've already got 2 double turbos in hand. We just don't need it. That's also a play you can make. Jet up your Electrode to do the damage if you don't have the Rescue Board in play. All right, grab the Town Store, grab the glasses, do the 300 damage, and then we're going to do the 30 damage with poison to keep Fezandipiti from working. I think we're going to... Do we go ahead and bench another Brute Bonnet? I think we go ahead and bench another Brute Bonnet. Just in case. I feel like it's pretty important to have multiples of those on our bench. We're going to go ahead and attach the Binding Mochi here. We're going to attach a double turbo here. We're just thinning out our hand as much as we possibly can going into the next turn, because we're only going to have 1 prize card left. If we get hit with Iono, that could be pretty devastating, but with our board state, how it is, I think we just win. I don't know what our opponent can do here to do anything about it. We just need a boss's orders to win. That's all we need, boss's orders. One time. Top deck of boss's orders, next turn to win. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. I honestly thought it was going to be super clunky with all the tools in it, but playing Town Store really does help. All right. They definitely have the Charizard online here. Denying them Fezandipiti with the poison has been huge this game. They haven't really been able to get a good setup going with their Duskulls or anything. This is the second time we've played this person, the Slaycroft 777. I have a feeling they're going to choose a different deck after this match. Oh, they got the Hero's Cape. We have Lost Vacuum in hand. Oh, we got to just have the Lost Vacuum in hand. They got to play Iono here. They have to play Iono. All right, play the Iono. You got to play the Iono. We have everything in hand if you don't. No! He didn't quick search. He could have played an Iono. He didn't use Quick Search that turn. Oh. Dang it. All right, we don't have a knockout here, so this is going to last a few more turns at least. Let's just grab the Forest Zone out. We're going to go ahead and Lost Vacuum away the Booster Capsule. We're going to get rid of the Hero's Capes. Not super necessary, but might as well. I think we sacrifice a Brute Bonnet here. Right? I think we just push up the Brute Bonnet. Let some poison build up. Yeah, I mean, there's not really any reason to do anything else. We could have attacked with the Klawf, and if we would have got like a Night Stretcher, we could have won with the poison damage that way. Just kind of delaying the inevitable here. Man, they should have used that Iono. We probably should have played this Binding Mochi onto our Klawf as well, so... I mean, we just need boss's orders to win. We need boss's orders to win, or we need a Night Stretcher to pull out the Electrode V for the 4 Seal Stone. We have a lot of outs here. There's a boss. Taking their Klawf. That's kind of what I figured they were going to do anyway. We just left the Klawf in the active, then they just would have went after that pretty hardcore. It's going to come down to the last prize card here. Charizard's just huge. It's hard to deal with. All right, top deck the boss, so we can just take out the... let's just take the Rotom. Toxic Powder the Klawf, and we'll be hitting the Rotom for 420 damage with the Klawf for the last prize card.